Tim and Khan here, 4 seconds out with former undisputed champion Josh Taylor. Josh, enjoyed that press conference?
Yeah, it was good, nice and tasty, short and sharp and sweet. You know, a lot of travelling today. You know, I was late. Left Edinburgh at 10 o'clock this morning. Got to Liverpool and then just hit the traffic. So yeah, it's been a long old day.
Saw you give something to him, and I think he tried to hit you in return. What happened there?
Yeah, he's not very professional. That's the third time he's tried to lift his hand to me. That's what I'm saying. He's not got the mental capabilities to contain himself. He's obviously nervous and uncomfortable with doing all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I handed him a wee pack of crayons and a colouring book, you know, because that's about his capabilities, his mental game. In
terms of the fight, do you feel you have to change up much to get the victory? What do you feel, and how do you feel this fight will play out?
Well, obviously I have to change a lot for the first fight. I mean, it was dreadful, the first fight, wasn't it? It's no secret. So, yeah, but there's absolutely zero chance of that happening again. That version of Josh Taylor coming up was a once in a lifetime, and that was his chance to pounce on it, you know. And he decided to go on the back foot in the second half of the fight, and not really do much. So. There's no way that version of Josh Taylor turns up ever again.
Happy with Leeds as the venue?
Yeah, absolutely. No, doesn't really bother where it is, you know. It's a nice big venue. I think they pushed. It was actually Ben Shalom and all that. They were talking about putting it on in London, and it was like, I don't see any point in putting it on in London. It's a guy from the north of England and a guy from Scotland. So what the hell's the point in putting it in London? So you can maybe charge a bit more money for tickets, but then. For the punters, it then turns out an expensive weekend, you know, especially people coming from Scotland. You've got flights or trains, hotels, tickets, and that all before they've even bought a drink or something to eat. You know, it ends up turning into a really expensive weekend, and in current times, people haven't got the money to spend. So I was trying to push for it to be more local, and always have. You know, they put this fight to me to try and put it over in Saudi and all that kind of stuff. Oh, cheers, mate. Tried to do it over in Saudi, but I was like, no, this is a UK fight and it's for the UK fans, and so it needs to happen here.
Is that part of the decision, as you feel, maybe why this wasn't on Sky Sports pay-per-view as well, considering the position where everyone is and having to dip in their pocket that extra bit further if it was on Sky Sports pay-per-view?
Listen, I don't really know. I leave that down to my lawyer to sort it all out. You know, obviously Eddie at first was saying I was asking for too much money, but I'm getting the same money, actually a little bit more than what I asked for. So it's like, well, we could have been here at the start. You know, they've said no at the start, they never had the budget and all that. Then put it to put it out there to see if they could put it on Sky. Sky came and put in a great offer, and then they came back and matched it. And it's like, well, you've wasted all that time. Wasted all that time when we could have been there at the start. So, yeah, we're here now. Better late than never.
Never indeed. I thought Sam Jones said he had something in his pocket for the press conference, but I don't think I heard what it was.
I don't know. I couldn't hear what he was saying. I couldn't really hear what he was saying today up there on the stage. So never take what he says too seriously anyway.
Are you looking to put in any recommendations or any thoughts on the judging situation, considering how the first fight went? You want fair and appropriate judges for this fight?
What do you mean? The judges were fair and appropriate for the last fight?
In the sense that because people might say that the first fight, they might take that out to this fight. I think I heard you say on a different interview that you may want to make sure that these judges don't take into account anything else.
What I meant was, because of the controversy around it, you know, I just hope that the judges are brave enough to put the score down on the card what they think, rather than being afraid of, I might get slack for what happened to Ian John Lewis. Although that was a little bit wide, you know, that card that he gave was wide. But obviously that might put the fear into other judges, but I hope the judges are still brave enough to put down on the score what they actually think, rather than being influenced by getting shit.
I heard you say as well at the press conference just there that you feel that Jack Catterall will never be world champion. You don't think will ever be able to get to that level? I
don't think he's got in and be world champion, no.
Could you give me a little bit more? Why is that? Do you just think there are other fighters that are better than him? He's not as good as maybe feels?
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
People who are basing maybe their pick on this fight on your performance against Teofimo Lopez there, do you think they're counting you out in this fight potentially?
They can count me out all they want. I've been counted out my whole career with things and leading up to fights. You know, it's too early for him and this, it's too big a jump and all this and that. I've been counted out my whole career, both amateur and pro. So keep doing it and I'll keep proving you wrong.
Difference for you as well in this fight is that you got Joe McNally in your corner this time around as opposed to Ben Davison. Has the preparation so far, either early or not, been different heading into this one?
Nah, not been much different really. Just a more tuned in, focused Josh Taylor. You know, like for the last time, you know, I feel I've explained this 500 times. I'd just been to the top of Mount Everest and become an undisputed world champion. Come home, and I had made a deal with Jack prior that if I win the fight, I'll fight you next. You know, but my mind was just like, man, I'm going to go up to welterweight. I'm going to challenge to fight for, get a fight at welterweight, and then hopefully fight with Terence Crawford, your Errol Spence's, and become a two-weight world champion. You know, I was basing my ideas on that, and that's who I was, and that's what I was focusing on, and everybody was talking about that, and I got carried away with it rather than focusing on exactly what was in front of me, and that was the biggest mistake I made, and I'll never do that again.
I'd never think of you as being unfocused or fight. Two words I'd use for you is focused and proud, especially as a undisputed world champion. It's quite surprising to hear that you didn't feel that you were looking back at it, didn't have that focus for the first one.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I wasn't focused because I was still training and still training well, but I didn't have the dedication really in terms of like, I was just like, just get fit and I'll beat this guy, no problem. Underestimating him. And it's like, it's the old saying, and the worst mistake anybody can make in the art of warfare is underestimating your opponent. And that's what I've done. And I'll never be doing it again.
Was it a bit of motivation as well then? Maybe went up for it in that sense?
Yeah, I was I've just answered your question there. Yeah, I wasn't up for it. Yeah, I was looking at going elsewhere, but instead it should have been focused on what was right in front of me.
Just want to put everything on a table to you, Josh. Win, obviously you move up. Draw or lose, what's on the line for you?
Cross that bridge when we come to it, mate. You know, all I'm thinking about is April 27th and getting that win and moving on with my career. You know, that's it. You know, all that matters is April 27th. I'll not be thinking about anything else.
Do you feel that in the war of the mind games that you're 1-0 up here?
He's not got much of a mind to compete with, so it's pretty easy. It's like, it's just putty. He's not got the mental capabilities to be fucking with anybody. He's just not got the capabilities to be messing with anyone. He's dense, he's thick. So it's like, it's just easy. You know, and he can't control himself. That's why he's resorting to lashing out, because he's not got the mental capabilities to say something or have a mental verbal battle. He has to have Sam Jones giving him notes and giving him things to say and what to say. He can't do it for himself.
Final word, I'll leave it with you. What happens in the rematch?
It's Josh Taylor win at all costs.
Josh, pleasure's all mine. Thanks for being SecondsOut. All the best in the rematch.